YouTube, it's your boy Alex, man. We're back on another video. We're gonna be watching this video by Flight Mike talking about Bronny and how he's just been hooping in G League, I said recently. So yeah, so if you guys like to see this video, make sure to like, subscribe, turn on the road to 5K. Nothing else to be said, let's get right into it.
James finishes with 30 points in 25 minutes.
I just want to play. It's the main thing. Get some work done, and I just want to play.
Welcome back to my Bronny James channel. Well, we like to bring you guys an update on Bronny James at least once every 3 weeks or anything something significant happens. And in this particular instance, something significant did happen as things are looking significantly more promising for Bronny James. Now, before we get to the content, make sure you drop, like, subscribe, and turn on our notifications to get the latest and greatest NBA news to your device. And now that we get all that out of the way, cue the intro.
I just hope that Bronny is able to at least play to this level consistently. Keep up this level of play consistently. Can't even talk, man. Just so that he can just be able to have that confidence, so that when he gets to the NBA, he can perform at the same level. So, but I'm happy to see that he's playing this way, man. Happy to see he's balling out.
Check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? Bronny James's entrance in the NBA made things.
You guys think that LeBron's leaving the Lakers though? Because I know he's taking his personal time off. But
I mean, a few
you guys
days
think
ago,
that he's leaving the team, or he's gonna stay with them by the end of the
LeBron James
season?
could get traded to the Golden State Warriors.
And
Immediately, I countered with,
he's doing
how
alright,
could
man.
LeBron
But
James get
I
traded
don't know
to
where his
the
state of
Golden
mind is
State
right now.
Warriors? Cap issues aside, because it'd be very difficult to acquire him, given that the Warriors would have to match salary cap to make the trade go through. But also, do you think LeBron is just gonna leave Bronny in Los Angeles after he pulled some strings to get him drafted by the Los Angeles Lakers in the second round? Upon Bronny getting drafted to the Los Angeles Lakers, I told you guys that I personally didn't care that much. I mean, he was a second round pick. There are 5 picks remaining in the NBA draft. Usually the 55th pick in the NBA draft doesn't turn out to be anything significant, but in my opinion, it was the execution of it all. I mean, originally Bronny would show up to the draft combine and said that he's focused on putting in the work and he doesn't want anything to be handed to him.
You know, I put in the work and stuff like that to get back, so I feel like I've earned the opportunity. Putting that Bronny James narrative out there more is, instead of, you know, just being LeBron James' son.
He only wanted to be drafted if he was good enough to be drafted.
This is a serious business, and I don't feel like there would be like a thought of, I'm just drafting this kid just because of I'm gonna get his dad. Like, I think I've put in the work, and I would get drafted because of the person, not only the player, but the person that I am.
And then after LeBron James spending a large portion of his time saying that it's his lifelong dream to make sure that he plays with his son in the NBA.
Bronny is #1 on my fucking list.
No, I mean, he would say this a lot, by the way.
I want him to get to the NBA. I want to be on the sand. I want to be on the court with him. I think that would be an unbelievable moment.
LeBron would flip-flop on his own stance and say that my son is his own man.
But at the end of the day, Bronny's his own man. He has some tough decisions to make. Yeah. And when he's ready
I think that the Lakers are going to draft him regardless, though, just so that they can do right by LeBron in order to make him happy. And I think just the other teams kind of respected that and just made it so that, like, hey, we're just going to let him be happy just because he's been so great for our game. I mean, that's just what I think about it. But I mean, Bronny's definitely earned the opportunity at least compete for an NBA draft spot. But I just think that he was just probably always going to be destined to be a Laker anyways, but that's just what I think.
2.8 rebounds, 2.1 assists, shooting 36% from the field, 27% from 3. So ultimately, his dad had to pull some strings to get him drafted by the Lakers. But even once he got drafted by the Lakers, the execution was terrible. I mean, I am never going to stop showing you this clip of JJ Redick lying to all of Laker Nation.
Rob and I did not give Bronny anything. Bronny has earned this through hard work.
And believe me, I'm very happy for the kid. It's just the execution of this was very poor. And I think that was my whole issue with Bronny's entrance into the NBA. I think it's a cool opportunity to be able to play with your dad, who some people think is the greatest player of all time, depending on who you ask. But if we're focused on making Bronny a good basketball player, the way the Los Angeles Lakers have been going about it so far doesn't have Bronny's best interest in mind. And I think that's what bothered me the most. Unless if you ask Skip Bayless, who believes that Bronny's already a better basketball player than his dad.
I've always gotten what's the man done to him? I just don't understand. It's been going on
So Bronny
ever
would
since
play
his
throughout the
Miami
summer
days.
league.
It's
He'd have
just
some good
ridiculous,
moments in the
dude.
summer league, but he'd
It's
also
gotta
have
stop,
some
bro.
pretty terrible moments in the summer league. But ultimately, towards the end, he started to show some promise and actually worked on his game. He would then play in the preseason, and for the most part, would get carved up in the preseason until the tail end of the preseason, where he actually dominated in his final game. And this brought us to what Bronny's role was going to be for the Los Angeles Lakers in the regular season, which in JJ Redick's defense, he handled masterfully in the very beginning of the season. Bronny inserted into the Los Angeles Lakers' very first game of the season. They ran a play for him. He shot a three, he clanked it, he got subbed out. And that was the only bit we saw from Bronny until he played versus the Cleveland Cavaliers a few weeks later, which also makes sense because the city of Cleveland is very special to the James family. And after that, the future for Bronny just seemed very strange. If you guys remember, back in the offseason, Bronny said that he wouldn't mind playing in the G League to develop his game. And how could you not mind playing in the G League given the fact that Bronny's a very raw prospect so far? But the thing is, the Los Angeles Lakers had an issue. On one hand, they needed to develop LeBron James' son. On the other hand, LeBron James wanted to be with his son. He wanted his boy to see what it was like to be his teammate. But unfortunately, his son isn't talented enough to play in the NBA. So the Lakers had this very strange proposition that
Yeah, G League needs to be top priority. Let's just leave him to G League for at least a year so he can get confidence and then bring him back up. So I don't know what
which in my
else
opinion
that they're
should be the
possibly
top
thinking.
priority,
I don't know.
developing Bronny into a good basketball player. Instead, the Los Angeles Lakers opted for this very strange backwards arrangement where Bronny was going to play in South Bay Lakers home games and he's only going to be a part-time G League player.
From my understanding, he's only going to play in the South Bay Lakers home game. He's only going to kind of be a part-time G League player. I think that's gone too far.
And even Brian Windhorst had a problem with this, but since Brian Windhorst originally got his big break as a result of covering LeBron James, he had to pivot.
What I said, and I'll say again, was that I am totally on board with the whole Bronny James thing with the Lakers. I think it was a smart move to draft him.
Which I can't fault Windy for that. I mean, he really has his hands tied. If he got his big break as a result of clutch,
yeah, I don't blame
sports,
Windy. I mean,
to the world,
it's got to
what
call it
Clutch
like it
Sports
is. I
wants him
mean,
to say, then
it just
it's really out of his
benefits the
control.
Lakers
I'm
just
sorry
by
to tell
having
you guys,
Bronny on the
if
team
the
just so that
goal
they
was
can
to
help
develop Bronny
help,
as a basketball
satisfy
player,
LeBron,
the plan
so.
was f***ing stupid. If
Just
the
gotta
plan
call it
was
like it
just
is.
to have Bronny there and be LeBron's little mascot, then it's a great plan. It's funny because in our last video, we actually discussed Bronny's opening games. LeBron and Savannah even showed up to the game with LeBron wearing a shirt that said, "I am the pressure," which is one of the funniest, most ironic, and least self-aware things that LeBron James has ever done. And Bronny crumbled under the pressure in the very beginning. He played terribly in his G League debut a month ago. And honestly, I didn't expect anything less. I mean, one day he's playing in the G League with his teammates. Next, he's being extracted out to go fly with the Los Angeles Lakers to a road game. I mean, it just didn't make much sense. So Bronny scored 4 points off of 2 of 10 shooting from the field and 2 assists in one game. And at the time, his head coach even said that he needed to get consistent reps.
Everything, as we know, it's a fluid situation with the G League, right? The only constant is change. So with all those guys, I don't know who it's going to be. It's about the Lakers' health, and they're the priority, and we adapt from there.
And it seems like finally the Los Angeles Lakers agreed, and everything changed for Bronny as a result. Because Bronny James finally had his big breakout game for the South Bay Lakers, and he looks significantly more confident. I mean, take a look at this.
Yeah, I loved
Cutting
his
to the basket
aggression in
for
this
an
game. He
alley-oop,
just looked very
showcasing a little
comfortable
bit of
getting
that
to his
James
spots, especially in the
athleticism,
mid-range
hitting
and
this
front three
contested
ball.
mid-range
Just
jumper after
looked like he
getting
had
a
like
screen
pro
from his
pace
teammate,
that he
understanding
just
the
honestly
appropriate times
needed to just
drive
show, and so
into
I'm glad he was
the
able to
paint,
show
get
in
an
this
easy
game.
layup,
So
pulling
it's
up
good to
for
see.
a wide open 3 and sinking it. Over here, his opponent sags off of him once again, so he gets another wide open 3. Now, I will admit the competition doesn't seem to be the fiercest for Bronny in this particular game. I mean, it doesn't really seem like they're defending him so hard, but when you consider the fact that most of us were wondering out loud if Bronny was even going to be able to compete in the G League, this is a huge step forward. And when you consider the fact that this happened in a G League road game, then clearly this is very significant for him. I will admit I am a fairly skeptical human being whenever it comes to analyzing this footage. I mean, tell me what the hell this is. I mean, the defender just gets completely lost in this screen, doesn't defend it properly at all. So yeah, the level of competition is obviously a bit of a concern for me, but regardless, I'm just gonna give him a W. Now look, if he's able to string together a few more performances like this, then there's no question in my mind that he could see himself called up soon. I don't know if something weird went on here. I don't know if this was a game that was just set up for him to score a lot. I don't know if he's actually developing a little bit better. I don't know if the competition is just really that bad in the G League, but I will admit, you can't come out here and say that Bronny isn't good enough to even play in the G League, and then once he has a dominant G League performance, you can't come out and say that, oh, it's just the G League. It's clearly showing that he's improving, and if there's one thing that I will give Bronny some props for, it's the fact that
you got to stay on one side of the fence, because like if he has one good game, then you're gonna say competition's whack, but as soon as he has one bad game, you're gonna say, oh man, he's trash anyway. So you gotta just stick to one side, man. I mean, just let the kid develop, let the man develop. I'll just say kid, because he's a young man, so just let him develop and get better, man.
G League just so he could ride the bench in Laker road games and cheer on his dad. Which I also wonder if the reason why Bronny has been playing in more G League games recently is because his dad is injured and his dad isn't performing as well. But regardless, I felt like this.
Alright, man, so that's gonna do it for today's video by The Flight Mike. Always one of the OGs in the basketball community in terms of commentary. But if you guys like this video, man, make sure to like and subscribe as we're on the road to 5K again, and I'll catch you next one. Alright, peace out.